Hi, I'm Paul Instrell, Marketing and Sales Director here at Calor. I've been in the business for over 2 years, and I guess my role is probably threefold. One, I'm responsible for growing the business. Two, it's all about finding new ways to create easier experiences for our existing customers. And third, and probably most importantly, is ensuring that our people and our customers are safe. So the marketing challenges that are unique to the LPG market. First of all, our customers tend to be off-grid, so therefore inevitably they're harder to reach. So we need to be very targeted with our approach, and that for us is an exciting challenge. The second challenge stroke opportunity is LPG in general has low awareness. A lot of people know LPG probably in a gas cylinder, but actually the product that we sell is hugely diverse, and therefore that gives us a great opportunity to promote the diversity of that product. However, typically when we do then bring on customers, we really do have a unique relationship with our customers because it's really personal. Typically, the driver that then delivers their gas has a really personal relationship with our customer base. So that then creates a really unique experience for our customers when we do get them on board. The biggest change is the focus on energy transition. This is a global transition. And working in an energy business, a utility company, we are right at the heart of that transition. And the great news for Calor, in 2018, we launched a product called BioLPG. And BioLPG is chemically identical to regular LPG, but it's carbon neutral. So not only do we have an immediate solution that we can take to market to address that transition, we can also provide a solution that is plug and play. So people actually don't need to change their appliances to utilize that product. So we really do see ourselves one step ahead of our competition and the rest of the utility industry from that point of view. It's always important, I think, to be authentic in any role that you take on. And therefore, to be authentic, you need to identify with the brand of the people or ultimately the product that you might be selling. And for me, being part of providing a solution during the energy transition is an amazing opportunity. I can probably stand in front of my son in a few years' time and say I was part of that and I helped. And for me, that's hugely fulfilling. Social networks like Facebook still remain really important to us. Facebook, for us, allows us to communicate directly with our customers, and we can tell stories. And we believe that by telling stories, you can build rapport and relationships, which I think is really important. And a good example of how we do that, we, on an annual basis, run a campaign, which is our Calor Community Fund. And the whole point of that is us authentically investing in community projects. And it's a great initiative to really bring to life all the great stories and activities that the different communities that we serve participate in. I think the second area is more than the professional network of LinkedIn. LinkedIn for us again is key in us speaking directly to different industry segments. And what I always like to see, and I really don't need to encourage it, is when our employees then share posts based on the segments that they're working on, which again I think gives real credibility in terms of our understanding of these industries and also the quality of our people that then work in these segments. I think both the social networks and professional networks will thrive on them being trusted. There's a lot of scrutiny around the role that they're playing to ensure that fake news, for example, is being managed. And therefore, customers and consumers will continue to kind of migrate towards channels that they trust. So therefore, our role as a business within that environment is to make sure that we are then part of the different networks that then promote that level of trust. Because that, for me, then creates that level of transparency that our future customers and consumers will expect of any business in the future. B2C is less complex. We're typically dealing with one persona, and that persona is typically a domestic customer. So therefore, by its nature, it's less complex. We see B2B probably as more complex because you have to add the additional layer of industry segments. And that, for us, is an area where we believe we excel. We invest heavily in ensuring that we have industry experts, and we have a dedicated team of these experts that for us gives us absolute credibility when we are speaking to the different industry segments. Because like most businesses, we know that if we understand what they do, then we're credible. And when it comes to then presenting our value proposition, the customer knows that value proposition that we're putting in front of them is then absolutely linked to what they need from us. So we recognize that digital creates an easy experience for our customers, both new customers and existing customers. So for example, prospective or new customers can pretty much begin their journey online and right through to them then receiving a quote from us. And it's important to note that at that point of quote, we then would introduce some sort of human intervention. And it's necessary because of the nature of our business. There are technical questions and safety questions that need to be done with a human touch. And that therefore makes that initial step, if you like, in the buying process really seamless. The second area is then around our existing customers, and we really are passionate about creating an easy experience for our existing customers. But interestingly, when you really break down the demographic of our customer base, what you find is there are still a number of customers that will only want to have a human contact with us. And that typically is over the phone. And there are a number of examples where we've maybe got some elderly customers that we are very conscious that they would want that human intervention. And that's therefore important in terms of how we show up in the market, right through to customers that just want self-serve. And again, we need to make sure that we're catering for all of these. I think fundamental to our digital proposition is really understanding when it's the right thing and when actually you might need more traditional methods. The profile of sustainability on the agenda of our commercial customers is higher than it's ever been. And that's fantastic news for us, because that allows us to directly talk about our new product, BioLPG. BioLPG is chemically identical to regular LPG, but it's carbon neutral. And if sustainability is then a key need for our commercial customers, then being able to directly talk about that as part of our overall value proposition is really exciting. And I think it really turns quite traditional commercial conversations, if you like, into something really dynamic and interesting for our customers. I previously worked for Guinness, and I can't help but go back to what Guinness do from a B2B point of view. Guinness is typically famous with what they do around their above the line marketing and how they attract consumers to the brand. But typically what goes unrecognised is the work that they then do to support the B2B channel. And typically the example I'll give here is around how they then support public houses or bars, and their focus is all about quality of the beer. And what they do is ensure that all their communication, how they speak commercially to these customers, is all about driving that quality message. If pubs or bars are serving great quality Guinness, then it's quite simple, they'll sell more. And for me, that is always a great example of being clear on your insight and how you then utilize that insight to drive commercial business. I always think Freestyle have this insane ability to quickly get to grips with a business. My experience so far has always been, I've used Freestyle in 2 businesses now, and what always impresses me is their ability to get to grips with what the business is all about, who the customers are, how we interact with them, etc., etc. And for me, that has to be one of the key assets. And proof of that always comes in when we start to then interact and discuss any work. I genuinely feel like I'm speaking to somebody that's worked in this business for a number of years. And that's credit to the quality of the people and credit to the methodology and the approach that they then use to really get to that level of understanding. Because quite simply, if the agency that you're working with doesn't have that intimate understanding of the business they're dealing with, then quite frankly, the work that we're then going to receive is probably not going to be to the level that we need it to be.